Hey guys, today I am going to be talking to you about kerned fonts. So, one of the questions that I got asked in my Facebook group, Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters, this is the name of my group, and you can see that it is a private group. So, if you would like to join my Facebook group, then please feel free to send me a Facebook group request, not a Facebook page request, but a Facebook group request to Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters, and we'll get you applied to this group. Now, here's the question that we received, and this question came from Dana Hickles. So, Dana, we want to thank you so much for continuing to learn about Cricut Design Space to help you with your crafting. And Dana's question was, what is this new only kerned font in Cricut Design Space? And so I came out, did a little bit of research, and I have now the answer for you, Dana. So I'm going to go over to Cricut Design Space. And in Cricut Design Space, what Cricut has done is they have taken out a lot of the legwork that we used to put into lining up our lettering. If you are familiar with Cricut Design Space and been around for a while, you know there were a lot of times that we went through letter spacing. And what we would do with letter spacing is we would go in and we would continue to shift these letters to the left so that they would get closer together or connect. Now, as you can see on my screen, my letters are already shifted to the left and touching. So what Cricut has done is they've went in and taken out a lot of that legwork for us that we would have to do to get our letter spacing adjusted so that it will shift to the left and look much uniform and nicer. So I'm going to show you here. When you go to your font, the only current fonts is normally going to be defaulted for you. And so that means that all of the fonts that you see here have kerning applied to them. And one of the things I want to point out up front is that this only kerned fonts is not available on a mobile device. It is only available via desktop. Okay, so you will not have this functionality with your iPhones, Androids, any of those devices is not going to be offered to you. Now, we know that Cricut is constantly, updating their software, so that could change tomorrow or next week or next month, but who knows? Right now, it is not available on your mobile, on any mobile devices, only via desktop. Okay. Now, with only kerned fonts, you can see that it's currently on and it's selected here. You also have the ability to remove it. So if you don't want only kerned fonts, then you can deselect the option and it'll show you all fonts, be it kerned or not kerned, okay? But if you want only the fonts that are kerned to be displayed, then you can select that option, okay? Now, if you are new to Cricut, you may not understand the difference between the all the system and the Cricut. So I'm going to explain that really briefly here for you. And all is just all of your fonts within Cricut Design Space and on your computer, okay? On your device, okay? That's all of your fonts. Now, if you want only the fonts that you have brought into Cricut Design Space, which are your system fonts, then you would click on System, and it's only going to show you the fonts that you have installed in Cricut Design Space. And you can see that I've installed quite a bunch of fonts in Cricut Design Space. However, if you only want fonts that are for from Cricut Design Space or Cricut, then you click on Cricut and you'll only see Cricut's fonts. Okay, you will only see Cricut's fonts. All right, now if you click on all, it's just going to combine your system and your Cricut fonts. Okay, now with the kerning, again, you can turn it on and off. It's not available on your mobile devices, only on your desktop. Okay, so right now I have it on. So that means that anytime I go here and I click on text and I type in something, whatever text I select, is going to have kerning on it, okay? And that's because I have it selected. So if I choose this font here, Beauty and the Beast, kerning is applied to it. You can see that it's already shifted those letters to the left for me. I do not have to do it myself, okay? So that is what your kerning is. And one of the things I'm going to also point out here is that when you're working in Cricut Design Space, a lot of times when you see that little I, it's giving you additional information for what that functionality is. And basically, it's just telling you here that your only kerned fonts displays only fonts with optimal spacing between each letter. And that's all it is, guys. It's taking out some of that work that we had to do with utilizing letter spacing to get our letters to shift over to the left. Now, you still have that same functionality. If I wanted to bring, these letters over even more, then I can still go into letter spacing and shift those letters. Okay. I don't have to do as much work because they were already pretty decent. So I really did not need to move it. But if you find that I always get letter spacing and line spacing. If you find that, it's not moved over far enough, as you can see here, there is a bit of space between the D and the O. So you still have the functionality where you can ungroup and then you can bring those letters over manually like that, okay? And then you can go back and group them back together. Now, just like with previously, anytime you go in and you adjust that font, you're going to, by ungrouping it and regrouping it, you're going to lose some functionality, okay? So right now, when I look up here, I can no longer use the curve for this font. And that's only because of what I've typed here. If I go in and I type Doris again, so you see I have Doris, but remember there is a little bit of space there. So I wanted to bring it over so that that O is closer to the D than it originally is here. And I have the ability to use the curve functionality. However, once I ungrouped it, which I did with this one, once I ungrouped it, I lose the curve functionality. You can see curve is no longer an option. So all of those things that apply to your previous font usage, it still applies even with the current fonts, okay? So you want to make sure whatever you need to do with your fonts, you do it before you would ever go in and ungroup it, because once you ungroup it, you're going to lose some functionality. So I do want to point that out to you. All right, so that's what kerned fonts is. I'm not going to go in and put a bunch of different font types out here just so you can see. I just wanted to make this video really quick in response to Dana and my Facebook group so that they are aware of what kerned fonts are and what kerning is. It's just your letter spacing that we have been dying for so that we didn't have to manually do it. So you can see here I did this little graphic that says kerned fonts, and we're blowing love at it because this is something that we should all be smiling about. Okay, so that's again what your kerned fonts are, guys. Again, it is not available on any mobile device at this time. If you have previously saved projects, kerning is not going to be applicable to any previous saved projects. You can open those projects up and then you can apply kerning and then save it, and therefore it will be working. However, it is not going to automatically be applied to any previously saved projects. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's what your kerning is. It's just taking out that um, where we had to do the additional groundwork to move those letters or shift those letters over and make them look nice and neat. And let's see, I think that's it. That's all I want to tell you about kerned fonts because it's just that simple. But again, Dana, thank you so much for asking the question. And now we are all informed about what it is. And like I said, you can go in and you can click on the ability to remove only kerned fonts. so that it'll show all fonts regardless of whether or not it has kerning or not applied to it. Okay, so if I were to excuse me, now just click on any of these, it's not easy for me to tell which one's kerned or not kerned. And so, you know, I'll just be taking a stab in the wind to determine if that is actually, you know, a kerned font or not. Okay, so here we have a font, and you can automatically tell because those letters are shifted to the left that it does have kerning applied to it. Okay, because normally these letters would not be touching. We would have to do all the shifting ourselves using the letter spacing. Okay, so again, you do have the ability, which I would highly recommend that you just leave it on. You do have the ability to deselect and select your only kerned fonts, but I'm going to leave mine on because I absolutely love the kerned fonts. Okay. All right, guys, if there are any additional questions that you have, feel free to leave me a comment. If you would like to join my Facebook group, Ken Doris's Cricut and Creative Crafters, then please send a Facebook group request, not a Facebook page request, to me, and I can get you added to our group because we're all about learning together as a whole so that we can all be better crafters, okay? So in my group, if you're asking questions, if it's something we don't know, we're going to find out so that we can all learn together. And that's how we operate within my group. All right, guys, that's it. I want to thank you guys so much. Like I said, if you are already a member of my Facebook group, I want to thank you so much. We're small but mighty. And also on my YouTube channel, if you're currently subscribed, I want to thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel and you like my method of teaching, then please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. And I'm very excited that I'm now over 3,000 members on YouTube, and I look to continue growing. All right. All right, guys, that's it for me. And as always, you know, my motto is each one reach one so that each one can teach one. And you guys have a great day.